Greetings, programs. This is Wretch, and welcome back to Deadlands Noir, that old-time religion. In the last episode, we got to the bottom of what exactly is going on here in 1935 New Orleans, with the evangelist Gospel Divine having been the one to kidnap the Baptist pastor Kellerman as well as his daughter, and is using them as a ritual to cause his entire congregation to get possessed by demons, which is going to be very, very bad news for the city. Our heroic PI here, Harvey Jenkins, thanks to some relics he got from Mama Bonte and friends, has been able to fight his way to the tent, and now we have a choice. We can try and free the Kellermans, they're restrained, or we can go straight for Gospel. And he's the key, take him down and it's all over, or I've got to get the Kellermans out of those things. I think the Kellermans are the key, because we noticed that the demon that is inside Divine was repelled whenever it got near Pastor Kellerman. Maybe we can give Kellerman the medallion, because these guys seem to take damage from faith. So I'm going to call my shot here, and we're going to try and get the Kellermans out of these things. I broke into a dead run before anyone could move, heading straight for the platform. Screams and shouts of anger erupted all around me, but my focus was on the Kellermans. Gospel screamed out, "Satan has sent his servant among us! Eternal salvation and glory to anyone who slays this man!" Two men jumped at me from the front row of the bleacher I was just passing. I clocked one with the butt of my shotgun and had to headbutt the other one as he tried to wrap me up in his arms. More were coming, and I knew it wouldn't be long before they could just pile on me and it would all be over. I pointed the shotgun up in the air and pulled the trigger. With a thundering boom, it tore a hole in the top of the tent. That seemed to take the piss and vinegar out of the mob, at least for the moment, but now I had more witnesses bearing down on me. They were all yelling over and over, "We shall bear witness!" It was more than a little unnerving. Whatever Gospel had been waiting for, it was clear he decided it was time to act. He moved with a purpose over to Rachel, brandishing his cane sword as he did. She started screaming even more intensely, which seemed to really make the shadow thing riding him even happier and larger. I blasted the guts out of the nearest witness in front of me, swerved to the left around the one behind him, and shot it in the back of the head as I finally hit the stairs on Rachel's side of the platform. Devino glared at me with pure hate, as did his shadow self. The radiant angel image was still just flapping its wings and looking glorious, seemingly oblivious to the other chaos going on, so it was probably an illusion. Dimly, I was aware of cops rushing to the tent from the main entrances. Shots were being fired, panic screams grew in volume, and people were flowing everywhere like some crazy fruit drink in a mixer. I was guessing the men who hired me had convinced the police to get down here, or perhaps Mama Bonte called them. Either way, they weren't going to be any help to me in the next few moments. "Mr. Jenkins, you stand in the way of a war that you cannot hope to stop. This world was made ours many years ago, and we will claim it." Still full of charm and power, Gospel's voice had a different tone as he faced me, backing away and edging ever closer to Reverend Kellerman. "Men like you are mere annoyances, nothing more. I offered you a chance to join me and finally claim the power you've only just brushed against. You still can, Harvey Jenkins. You can know power like you've never dreamed of." I just smiled at him. I dream about a double shot of Kentucky's finest, a cold beer chaser, and a steak dinner at the Bourbon House. Think that's where I'll go when this is all over. I lowered my shotgun at him. Screaming, "No!" he lunged at the Reverend, clearly intent to run that blade right into his heart. At the last moment, instinct took over and I shifted my aim. At the squeeze of the trigger, a massive slug slammed right into the juncture where Paul Kellerman's hands were tied, and he went flailing backwards. The whole arch then collapsed, taking him with it to the floor of the tent. Gospel lost his balance and fell after him, but his blade slipped from his hand and clattered to the platform. At the sound of another shriek from Rachel, I turned just in time to see Brother James coming at her with a wicked-looking curved knife. "The gospel will be heard!" he shouted as he raised up his hand. I just pointed and fired. Rachel was still screaming, of course. Genteel southern women tend to do that when they're covered in a man's guts and blood. I looked back around in time to see Gospel running like a madman for the side of the tent. Cops fired round after round at him, but that inky black demon thing apparently gave him plenty of protection, so it's a good thing we didn't attack him first. He plowed through the canvas and disappeared into the full-blown storm that had erupted outside. Rain poured down in buckets, but I didn't care as I wandered into the night. There wasn't enough rain in the heavens to wash all the blood out of the last few days, but it was a start. Reverend Kellerman and his daughter Rachel hugged each other fiercely as cops took them to a big, nice car. He waved at me and smiled, and even she passed me a grateful look before burying her face back into his shoulder, the one that wasn't broken. He made me promise to come by and see him in a couple of days. I figured I would, and kind of owed it to him since I'd been the one who caused his other shoulder to be broken. He probably also needed to know some of the things I discovered about his daughter and her part in all this. I just hope he wouldn't try to talk me into coming to church. I'd answer a few questions for the cops, but they were going to want a lot more answers in the days to come. Fortunately for me, the mayor's sister was among Gospel's congregation, so he wanted to clean things up as quickly and quietly as possible. Between that and the mayor's gratitude for saving his sister's life, I got a pass tonight and didn't have to go to the station. I was tired. More tired than I think I'd been since Vince Gigante killed me. I opened my car door, tossed a shotgun in the back, and sat down in the driver's seat, so he has quite a past ahead. Then I reached up to my neck and pulled off the amulet. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, but I found myself hoping Mama Bonte and Daddy Thunderhand didn't want it back. After all, Gospel Devino was out there somewhere, and I was pretty certain I'd not seen the last of him. That was a thought for tomorrow. For tonight, it was time to see a rabbi about a bonus. Maybe you'd like to join me for a steak, too. Alright. Well, I figured that it was coming close to the end, and that was that real fiery conclusion. But cool deal, this was the Deadlands Noir. If you want to check out the role-playing game, just hop over to Pinnacle Entertainment's website. So this was a cool little game. I don't know if I'd actually call it a game. I mean, it was pretty much a very small choose-your-own-adventure novel, but I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the story. It was good. It was what I expected from Deadlands. So I'm hoping from how I understand, they're coming out with more of these. And I hope that they do keep on coming out with more of these. I'll be happy to do readings of them. I enjoyed it a lot. From how I understand, there's a certain thing you have to do in order to get to that reckoning at the end. I think it has to do with Mama Bonte and getting that medallion, obviously. But everything else, pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I'll go ahead and end it here, guys, until the next one comes out. Hope you guys have enjoyed the little play/read-through. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help, and we'll see you in the next series. Later days, everyone.